Hello and welcome to the Crafty Cauldron. I am JoBeth Sexton and I'm here to show you a journal that I have just completed not too long ago. This one is called In the Garden of Charity, and it is all about flowers and things that go with flowers. This journal is made from, I have kept the, it's actually an antique book cover. That is why it looks worn and old. It is because it is worn and old, but I have reinforced the spine and I have added some lace and some jacquard trim with flowers on it. It's absolutely gorgeous, green, cream, and black. And I have added some vintage photo to the lace that's covering here, back and front. So first of all, let's measure and start with that. This journal is 7 3/4 by around 5. The spine is roughly 1.5 inches, very, very close to within like a 1/16 of an inch. So there you have approximation. On the spine, I have included a tassel. This tassel is made from multicolored ribbon, lace, and textiles. There's a lot of lighter colors in this one, springtime colors and flower colors, and there's also some charms. This has a little heart and some beads. This one is an old rhinestone charm, lots of sparkle. It's actually a couple, I think, of rhinestones missing. It's very old. This one is made from a length of not real pearls and links, and then a real cloisonne bead with a beautiful, looks like cherry blossom, and then another cloisonne bead down here that has a floral design as well, a little crescent moon and a little star. And then let's see what else is in here. I think that's all for the tassel. The tassel is removable. It is on a clip, as you can see. Also, I have on this one, I have left the strings long, the strings that I have bound the book with, and these are beaded. There's some millefleurs, some flowers, some just regular crystal and lampwork glass. This is a lampwork glass with a little flower painted on it. So that one is probably hand painted because I believe it was one of a kind. So lots of sparkle and flowers there. So the tie is sari silk that I have stitched down the middle. It's green and purple, and it really goes with this well. On the front, you'll see In the Garden of Charity, and then this looks like a wedding ring design here, and then there's a view of looks like a harbor right there. This also has some book corners. They are brass book corners that I have added on to protect the corners because, as I said, this is an antique book cover. So inside, let's go inside. The inside of the book has a print of a marbled paper. This is from Nick the Booksmith. And then there are 2 pockets here. There's this journaling card with a flower stamp, and then there's a hidden pocket back here that you wouldn't notice unless, I told you, or you were just, trying to find hidden pockets. I tend to put a lot of hidden in my books. This one is a card. It says Wild, and it's got flowers backed with vintage notebook paper. How do I know it's vintage? It came from my high school days. Yes, I'm vintage. This is a tiny little matchbook type notebook. Just opens like that, and then it has a lot of journaling space inside. That's made out of an old green hanging file folder. And then we've got some flowers here that I fussy cut out of a book. Then this is the title page of the actual book, and I've stamped it with 1903, which is the year that the book was published. So there you have your date. This is a large journaling card in this front pocket. I've created front pocket, side-loading pocket with the title page of the book, and the page is really, it feels like linen cloth. It's really, really beautiful. And there's this journaling page, and there's a little tuck matchbook style notebook on the back with a little flower and it just tucks right down inside of there. And then this goes inside this pocket. The front here is from another page of a flower book, a very large flower book. Then we have a coffee dyed page with some stamps, an Edith Holden page with flowers, tissue, and a page from a Japanese encyclopedia. This is a page with a small belly band that is oriented this way. It says gladsomeness. A tissue paper envelope, and a little, it could be used as a bookmark, but it's got a mostly blank back, so you can write on it, and a tiny little envelope, also from Nick the Booksmith. This is, it opens and you are able to put papers inside of it. And then this is a double belly band here, so that goes behind there, and this goes in here. And then we have lace. This lace has a little mille-fleur bead and some other glass beads attached. This is an old postcard from Magnolia, California. I'm sorry, Magnolia from Mississippi. It's a Mississippi state flower, and on the back it tells you about the magnolia bloom. And that's a top tuck. This is a corner pocket tuck made from an old coffee stain, from a new coffee stain doily, but I backed it with vellum, clear vellum, so what you put in here wouldn't catch on the doily. And then this is another little notebook that opens up, and it's just a tearaway if you'd like, and that tucks inside of there. And then this is a tiny little envelope, and inside there's a little book quote. And on the back of that, it's a really old postcard with writing on it, and the date stamp is 1941. So that's a little discovery item for you. Then there's copy paper parchment with flowers and stamping. There's stamping and sewing all through the book. Another Edith Holden page and a corner tuck made out of an old 1960s How to Grow Roses book. And these are from that same book as well. And then I backed them with the pages from the book, which you can still write upon. So that's good. This has a little pendant. Actually, it's a pendant, and it is attached with a safety pin, but it is removable, so if you would like to wear it, you can put it on a chain. Then there's, this is a manila paper with stitching and stamping, a coffee-stained ledger, and then this is mulberry paper with stamping, stenciling on the inside. This book has about 108 pages, and that's counting all of the surfaces of the pages front and back. This is a coffee stained ledger, and this is a fabric flip made out of a sari trim with lace attached. I hand painted or hand colored this lace with the bright blue on it, so it would be a contrast. So there you have that, and then stenciled on a two-tone stencil rose with some stamping. More Edith Holden pages, and parchment copy paper with a little border of flowers. And then this is a card with, it says First Flowers and the artist's name, and it's a peekaboo card. There's little cutouts in it, and it opens this way, and you can write in there. Then there's this page is coffee stained, and it's got a little drop down open up parchment paper, copy paper fold, and then coffee stains. This is another page out of the Japanese encyclopedia, and tissue paper, and then another Edith Holden page. This is a coffee stained paper with stamping, and a handmade envelope out of a book page. It's covered with lace and a button and trim, and it opens up and you can tuck things inside of there pretty easily. So there's that, held on by a little clip with some ribbon on it. This is a more stenciled page. This page is from a book I found at the thrift store with handwritten poetry in it, and I tried to find the author, and I think she may have passed away because I think she was pretty old when she did these books, but I didn't want to just let these books go because they are absolutely beautiful and the poetry is wonderful. So she's got all kinds of little things written in them like this. It says, "Poetry is simply the most beautiful, impressive, and wildly effective mode of saying things." I don't know if that's her quote or someone else's. So back of that page you can write on, and then there's a page from 1960s doily pattern book that I just put in here. It's got flowers, and then the doilies have patterns of flowers. I thought it was really beautiful. Another corner tuck with some journaling cards out of the How to Grow Roses book and the vellum. And then this is a journaling card that is made with a little bit of a different angle and some stamps, some vintage stamps. This is a textile. This fabric here is from the 60s. It's I'm not sure what kind of fabric it is, but it's really durable. And then velvet that's been stitched on, and then linen that's been coffee dyed. So on the back of that page we have an envelope. This opens, and then inside this envelope is a hollyhocks, and in the back of that you can journal on that. Blank page here, and a blank page here with some lace and a little bead. This bead has a little rose inside of it. It's a lampwork glass. This page is for journaling. This is a rose from that How to Grow Roses book. This is a cutout from an old Shakespeare book. It's Ophelia, and a scene with Ophelia in it who went a little nuts, and she kind of got into flowers, and this is rice paper that opens up so you can journal. It's it feels like fabric, but it's rice paper. It's really beautiful, wonderful paper. And that's a little pocket there. So Ophelia comes in here, and she's singing, and down here she says, there's rosemary, that's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. And there's pansies, that's for thoughts. So I thought I'd put that in there. More journaling space, another piece of paper to write on, and a side tuck with some stamping and vintage sheet music trim. And that goes in there. More lace, and the lace has another charm. It's a charm with a little millefleur bead in green and a pearl. It's not a real pearl. This is a tuck with it's tiny envelopes from Nick the Booksmith. And they open. You can put things in those, stash little secrets. And then a bigger envelope that I handmade, and it does not open all the way, it just opens this far, but there are papers, so you can write on the papers and put those in there if you wish. And on to the next page, where we have a little flip down journaling spot on this page with more journaling spot and stamping. And then a rose, the Japanese encyclopedia. This is Braille paper right here. Let's hold that up so you can see the bumps. See, isn't that gorgeous? And it feels wonderful. And then you turn that, and then there's this page with all these pockets made out of sheet music. And then each pocket has a tag in it with a flower stamp, and you can journal on that too. Lace on the edge of that page. And on this page, we've got another pocket. We've got a pocket within a pocket with a journaling tag made out of some really gorgeous black and white rose decorated page from Paper Pack. And then that goes in there. This is a page cutout from a book, and that's on some dark green, very heavy textured cardstock that is 20 years old. I don't even remember where I got it. It's just been hanging around, and now I can use it. So happy. This is a journaling card made from a botany book, and it's got a little bow and some cheesecloth and textiles and lace. You can journal on the back. And this is a pocket with lace on it and a little charm. This is a lampwork glass bead with a little tiny pink rose inside of it. And on the back of that page is another. This is a tea tag, and I'm not going to read you on the back, but I've embellished this with a fabric cluster with flowers and stenciled the page with a rose, and then this little tag. It's like a tiny little tag, and there's a quote on the back of it. Then this is a page from the pattern book, the doily pattern book from the 60s. This is another page from that handwritten poetry book. It's called the poem Magic of Lilacs. And then I reinforced that with some flowery washi and more journaling space. This is a folio. It's called a specimen folio, and I created this following a tutorial from Nick the Booksmith. Open this up, and there's plenty of space for cards You can open this up, and then there's some things tucked in here, and then other things I left empty for you to tuck your own. It's got a little notebook in it right here, and a journaling card right here, and behind there some stamps, and a little journaling card right here with a decorative cutout on the edges, and then it just folds right back up inside of there, and you can tie it shut. And that's made out of a green file folder. That's an extra that I've included in there for you. Then the next is a pocket made out of a book page that I painted over with acrylic paint, so you can write on it, and you can write over the writing. And then it's been stitched all the way around with some ribbon. This is a journaling tag with a bunch of different stamps, really gorgeous. You can see there's like a Victorian lady here, and then flowers, a pineapple, a little ship. It's really cool. Tied with a bow, and that goes in the front, or you can move it. This is a journaling tag that opens up, a little stamp inside, flowers on the back. That's a sweet pea flower. And then this is a poem called Summer Moods by John Clare. And if you are a fan of Penny Dreadful, you will know who John Clare is, or of poetry, if you're a fan of poetry. So this is another journaling page with stitching from the other side, and then the stamping. Another braille page that I've inked. And there's a pocket on this side with a journaling card within. It's made out of an old Rolodex. It says Bloom. This is a tuck with a flip for journaling. If I can get my finger under there. There you go, with flowers on it. Coffee stained paper, and an old postcard with Arizona poppies. And the date on this one is 1980, I believe. It says 6. No, there you go. 1986. There's a little message on there for you to read. Journaling space. Another page from the Book of Flowers. And this is a tiny little notebook. It's just blank with green paper. And it goes over the top and gets clipped on. This page has lace on it as well. It's a kind of a antique white lace, and then you've got a little beaded safety pin here, and then that's the back of that pocket, and inside this pocket there's a journaling card with some flowers on it. Then this pocket is all decorated with flowers and sheet music and some trim, and I believe that is vintage trim. I've never seen anything like that before. And this is a little drop down fold out journaling spot, and then more journaling cards from the How to Grow Roses book. That just tucks all in there. More stamping, and then we've got a blank page for journaling. This is a page of mulberry paper with flower bits in it. Absolutely gorgeous. I just love the way that looks. This is the Japanese encyclopedia with the Japanese writing. This is a little creation of mine. It's a window in a journaling card. This printout is from, I believe it's from Shabby Dabby Doodah, and then the embellished paper clip holds it onto the page. The back has lines on it with coffee stained paper, and then that is attached to a vintage sheet music of the Yellow Rose of Texas. And that goes in there. And that's more journaling. On the back of that is, this is the center of the last signature. I'm sorry, there are 3 signatures. These are all, they're like small seed packets from Nick the Booksmith. I believe these are freebies. Each pocket has a tag within, and then the tag is made out of little tiny flower pictures, and the backs are blank. They've been inked so you can write on them, and they look kind of grungy antique-ish. They go back in there, and they each have a little piece of embroidery thread hanging out, so you can take those out with ease. More stamping, and these all just flip out like that. Coffee dyed paper, and then the music, sheet music. This lace is blue, and it has a little fancy little lampwork glass bead, green and clear on it right there. Another page from the Japanese encyclopedia, mulberry paper, and there's a pocket on the back of this mulberry paper with a little, it's embellished with flowers and sheet music and cheesecloth. And then this is another journaling spot for you. It's like a little drop down, but I've embellished it with, I've got coffee stain paper on it, and a little teeny tiny pieces of, actually there's like 3 pieces of paper that go in that little pocket, and it's kind of a hidden pocket for you. And I didn't use a kit for this. I used my own stuff and a few printables, but that's about it. Coffee stain paper with stamping, more coffee stain paper with stamping, and this is a postcard, a vintage postcard. And this is Japanese Flower Gardens from Phoenix, Arizona. I believe this is from the 70s. It could be from the 60s. There's no date on it. And then more journaling cards from the How to Grow Roses book with blank, well, mostly blank backs. And then another page from the book with the flowers that I made into a pocket page. And then some coffee dyed trim right there. This is a cool little thing. It's a pocket that I made with lace, and there's kind of a see-through window on it, so I put a picture of a yellow flower behind it, and then each corner has a little flower on it. And this is vintage. It's from the 60s. This is a giant journaling tag, and it does not have any embellishments on it. It's just made out of a dictionary page, but feel free to write over top of that. You can also glue a page on top if you'd like, stamp it, tear it, do whatever you want with it, of course. Coffee stain paper, and then this is more braille paper that I've embellished with velvet, and a little floral trim that is really pretty. It's a floral trim that is beaded, and then there's a little cloth rose attached to it. It's like a little silk rose. And inside this pocket we've got a vintage postcard from, I believe it's from Hawaii. It's really, really pretty. And it has a registered trademark, but it doesn't have a copyright year that I can see on it. But there you have that. And then a little tiny envelope from Nick the Booksmith again. This one opens up as well, and you can put something in there. And it's all floral on the outside. It's got little, let's see if I'll focus. Come on, camera. Little flowers all over the outside. It's really beautiful. I love those. They're so cute. Oh, good. We're still focused. And then the braille paper feels really cool. And then this is a piece of manila paper, and then I created this little fold notebook with an envelope and some note paper in it, 2 little pockets, and on the outside it's got like a garden. It's someone drew up the architecture of a garden, and it says roses here. There's a seat here. It's really cool. It's got a little legend here. It says this much is 50 feet, and it's really cool. It's all stitched all the way around, and then held in by an altered paper clip with a ribbon on it so it won't fall out. This is the back, the very back, and then we've got a little book plate, and there's my cat. Apparently she approves. Hello, girlie. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here we have a handmade by, and I signed it and put the month and year that it was made. So there you have it. She's called, oh, and one more thing, made a writing board for this one. So if you have a page you'd like to write on, but there's stuff behind it that makes it lumpy, you can just put this little thing right behind the page you want to write on, and then you'll have a flat surface to write on. And it's big enough that it covers the whole page. Don't have to move it. You can just tuck it in there, hold it in, and write. Now this is made out of, I can't remember what I made it out of. It's made out of chipboard, but it's got gold paint around the edges. It's got book corners on the corners to protect it. And then it's got a page from the flower book, the large flower book. And on the back it's got a little purple, like a little country flower watercolor print. It's not my work. It's just a little print. So there you have that. And you can, what I do with this is I leave it in the back and then tie it on with the tie. You can do that, or you can tuck it between the signatures where there's a little extra room, and you can hold on to it that way. But all of that is included with the book. Again, this is called In the Garden of Charity, and it's made out of an antique book cover that I gutted and I filled with my own things. So there you are. This will be available in my Etsy store by Tuesday or Wednesday. If you are interested in purchasing now, you can do that. All you have to do is, please do not get in touch with me through YouTube or through Facebook. I usually don't get my messages. It's just, I don't know what's up with their system, but it just doesn't work. And so that means that you got to contact me either through Instagram or through my Etsy store. I get notifications for those, and they're usually very timely. So there you have that. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in and for watching this video. Peace, love. Remember, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Make it a happy, crafty, and colorful one. You guys all stay safe out there. Wash your hands a lot. Don't touch your face when you're out in public. It's a really bad idea. And just stay safe and healthy. Love you guys. See you later. Bye-bye.